Hey, you guys, it's Tuesday. It's the first Tuesday of January 2021. This is Anything But Average, Achieving Success in Life. I am Tricia Turner, and I have Rob Trigg with me here today. Welcome, Rob.
Thank you so much for having me. I mean, I feel very honored that I'm able to get on this with you, and I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you so much.
I think it's freaking awesome that you're on here with me. I want to give everybody a little bit of a backstory. So for those that don't know you out there, Rob Trigg, first of all, we were just talking before we got on, he had his first baby girl last year. So it was his first Christmas with her. Super cute pictures to see of them on Facebook. But I met Rob a couple of years ago, and we came to get really well connected because I had an opportunity that fell into my lap to purchase some real estate. And of course, I'm self-employed and did not have things in order as they should be. And I needed to make something happen real quick. And so I knew about hard money loans, but I needed a really good connection. And so everybody was like, you got to talk to Rob Trigg. He's the one to go to. He's with Jet Lending and he will take care of you. So he did. I am a living testimony. It was the smoothest thing I've ever done, buying property, 1000%. And so I will highly recommend him for that. And so Rob, if you could share with everybody, what you do for a living. Of course, I just gave away your company, and how long you've been doing it and why you love it so much.
Well, so basically, let me give you a little outline of what we do. We lend on investment properties. We lend typically kind of outside the box type of lending for investors. Your property was an investment property, where you're going to get your office and stuff established. And we were happy to do it for you. Typically, we cannot lend on any owner-occupied properties. Where it's strictly for investing and strictly for investment strategies. The good thing about hard money is that when you get told no, typically we can make that happen for you. How I got started? Well, I'll tell you a story, very interesting story. My brother-in-law is part owner in this company. And I used to come visit my sister, which he's married to for 26 years now. I used to come visit them all the time in the Woodlands, and I was in the Army for, 21 years, and I'd come visit them. And my last summer trip that I would make over here, I made it over here to come see Johnny and Lee, and they surprised me with a concert. We went and saw Tim McGraw and some other people. We got in a limo. I mean, it was all fun and everything it's over in Louisiana. On the trip over there, me and Johnny were drinking some beers, and we were like, he's like, so what are you going to do when you retire? I was like, I'm thinking about joining the Texas the DPS, be a highway patrol. Really? Yeah, I was like, that's interesting. They accept prior service. The pay's good, and I can get in there, do 20 years, and then I'll have 2 retirements, and I'll be retired twice, by the time I'm 60 years old, and I can just be done, Yeah. And he said, that's the dumbest idea I've ever heard. If you knew Johnny, he was joking at the time. Johnny's, I think you've been involved and talked to Johnny a couple of times.
I think so too.
He's like,
used to be the redneck.
Yeah.
Redneck.
He's like,
can't name it.
He's like, Rob, why you want to do that? That's just dumb. Why you want to do that? I was like, I don't know, Johnny. He's like, come on out here. We'll get you involved in this real estate game, blah, blah, blah. I was like, real estate? I was like, that has never even, been on my, okay, real estate. What about real estate? Well, I kind of buckled down a little bit when I got back home and started doing a little bit of studying and asking questions to realtors that I knew that, in the area and stuff. And I was just like, hey, is it profitable? He's like, yeah, it's very profitable. They go through their numbers, started studying what title companies do, started studying what real estate does. And when I got out of the Army, I moved here, got my real estate license, went out independently with a team in the Woodlands, learned a little bit on that side, on the residential side. Wasn't really my cup of tea. I picked up the phone and called Johnny and said, hey, I'm interested in doing something else. I'm not the type of guy that wants to go show 15 properties to, to somebody on a Saturday morning and then they pick the first house that we showed. That's not something I want to do. And he's like, well, why don't you come over here, Jet Lending? We can use another loan officer. Come over here. We'll get you. I was like, yeah, Johnny, I don't want to be the brother-in-law that came in. And he's like, look, just come over here. We'll get you in, start closing some loans. You'll make some money. Well, I initially started it just to kind of make some more money. I had retirement coming in. I had my benefits, all that stuff. So I was like, you know what? Okay, I'll come over here and make a few extra dollars. Never, in 5 years ago, never in my wildest dreams would I be the senior loan officer here at Jet Lending. That was not even in my scope. I was just going to come in here, close a couple loans a month, make a few extra dollars, and just be. Lord, I've gotten married since then. I've got a kid now. I've got a mortgage. Did I mention I got a wife that loves to go to Hobby Lobby?
You're busy as crap too.
I'm busy all the time. It's like I don't even have time to think anymore. I was like, I'm retired. Y'all do remember that, right? But anyways, I love what I do because the satisfaction of helping somebody achieve their goals and achieve their dreams by flipping a property or getting a rental and getting that long-term loan through the whole process and achieving. I mean, you're taking something that's ugly and turning it into something that's beautiful. That's what we do on a daily basis with hard money loans. And to see that process and to see those clients be happy and make some money and put money in their pocket, that means something. This is their retirement money. This is their long-term nest egg. And they need people that they trust and people that they can, talk to like a normal person. I've had so many dealings with loan officers throughout my life because I bought some properties myself. Mm-hmm. I kind of studied that and I was like, you know what? Why do you have to be so rigid and so, I don't know what the word is.
Difficult.
Difficult. Yeah. There's a lot of loan officers that are very difficult to talk to. I try to make it as easy as possible and as friendly as possible so that they know that they're coming in and getting a good product.
So that because not everybody understands what a hard money loan is. So can you kind of, for those that are watching, we have a lot of real estate agents that watch the show. Can you let them know what is the difference between conventional financing, then you got FHA financing, and now you got a hard money loan? What's the difference? So
conventional financing, and I'm gonna talk about three different types of loans. All right. Conventional financing is what you use for, it's Freddie and Fannie Mae regulated. It's what you do to buy, your personal home or a rental home, long-term mortgage, if you can qualify, meaning debt to income ratio, all those parameters that you have to fall into for long-term conventional loan. I mean, there's a list of things. You've got your DTI's got to be perfect. You've got to go through the ins and outs of, hey, when was this check deposited? I need letters of explanation on how long you've been working at your job.
Yep.
Oh, by the way, we need a blood sample, DNA sample. We need to make sure that you're Rob Trigg or you're, Miss Turner, and like, okay, it's a very difficult process, but they underwrite it strict because there's a risk involved.
Yep.
That, because your interest rates are lower, so the risk is a lot higher. If they lose money, they're losing money plus interest, on a property.
And the down payment often is lower with conventional financing, correct?
Yeah, your payments are lower because your interest rates are lower.
Yep.
And that's conventional financing. That's the way most people know how to get jobs done. Okay. Yep. Or not get jobs done, get loans done. That's what everybody thinks of when they're going to get a loan. Mm-hmm. When you come to Jet Lending, it's only for investment properties. only. There's two different types of loans you get with us. One is a temporary loan to get the property and do an equity increase, or a buy, fix, and sell, or a buy, fix, and hold. Meaning you're taking the property, you're buying it, you're going to go in and do repairs, and then you're going to sell it for top of the market for a profit. That's one strategy you come to Jet Lending for. Number two, buy, fix, and hold. You buy the property, you fix it, do either rent-ready repairs or full repairs.
Okay.
To get the property ready to rent. Now, there's those two strategies fall under buy, fix, and hold for short-term money, meaning 3 to 6 months short-term money.
Okay.
Once you're done with the rehab and it's rent-ready, or you did a full-blown rehab, so your deferred maintenance is not every time somebody moves out, it'll last you about 10 years. Or you just do rent-ready repairs where you go in every time somebody moves out and change the carpet or do a little bit of upgrades, but it's still rent-ready, and you can put a renter in there immediately. That's another strategy that our buy, fix, and hold, meaning you're going to be a landlord, uses. Now, we now have products that are called non-QM, non-qualifying mortgages.
Okay. Which
is not a traditional mortgage. And this is when you use Jet Lending for those. It's a 30-year loan, or it's a 3-year ARM. Now, what they do is they go off of the income approach of the property.
Okay.
Meaning they're not going to underwrite you like a Freddie and Fannie Mae will. They're going to underwrite you and says, is this property income producing? Does it have a debt service cover ratio of a 1.2 to 1.1 or higher? Meaning your rents are bringing in income at least 1% and a point, or 1.25% higher than what your PIT is. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and that's how we do our lending for long-term and short-term. Hard money is a way to use somebody else's, or an acronym I like to use, OPM, other people's money, to get investment properties done. So you're not putting all of your nest egg into one property and not able to cash that money out for 5 or 6, 7 years, till it builds up that equity. You use my money. Go ahead.
On the short-term one, walk me through one of those. Give me a scenario. What would it be? What kind of an interest rate per se, like in our current timeline, January 2021, down payment? What kind of down payment are you looking at? Is there a certain property type? Kind of walk through that so people watching will understand.
So on a short term, we'll just make this simple: buy, fix, and sell, not holding the property.
Okay.
On a buy, fix, and sell, you're looking for properties that are below market value, way below market value. What we do is we'll evaluate that property and we loan off of what's called an after repair value.
Okay.
Meaning, in your terminology, what's selling top of the market, 2021 standard updates. Like it's got the granite, it's got the stainless steel appliances, it's got all the 2021 current feature of the homes,
right.
And we evaluate those properties and say, hey, this is what everything's selling for. So let's just take an easy scenario.
Okay.
Let's say, for instance, that we get a property that will sell for $200,000.
Okay.
200,000, 70% of that is 140. So that's my total loan that I can lend on that property.
Okay.
It's always 70% of the after repair value.
Okay.
Now you probably say, oh, well, I've got it under contract for 140. Stop. Wait. Yes, that's a discount, but you're still got to account for your repair cost. How much is it going to cost you to get that property to 200,000? Let's say for this instance, your property is going to have 40,000 in repairs. At the closing table, I can lend 100,000 of that 140 towards your purchase price.
Okay.
So your purchase price needs to be somewhere close proximity to that 100,000 in order for you to make a good 20 to 30% off of that property when you sell it.
Yeah.
So it's all encompassing. The property is, my loan includes your repair cost plus your acquisition cost.
Okay. So on those, were people coming to the table with cash down payment? Yes, 30%.
They don't have to. They need to be buying the property. That's why it's so important when we teach that the 70% method as far as your buying method. You're always 70% minus repairs should be close to that is your offer on your properties.
Okay.
A lot of people just say, "Oh, well, I'm gonna offer 140." Well, then you're going to be 40,000 plus closing costs.
You're going to be in a problem.
Yeah, and that gets to be a problem. They're like, well, that doesn't make sense. Well, it does make sense if you want to make a 20 to 30% profit on selling it. If you're all into this property, you know, a 140 loan plus 40% out of pocket, hell, you're 180 in it, and you don't even realize it.
Yeah, that happens, I bet, all the time.
Yeah, and you're 180 into the property, meaning you got 20,000 to spare. Hey, you got a 6%, 6 to 7% sale cost because you got to pay your realtor to list it. You got to pay your realtor 3% on the other side of the buyer. So you take 6% of, I don't know, of 200,000. Times 6%, that's 12,000 plus another 1.5% to your title company. By that time, you've got 4,000 left. Hey, you may have a good golf trip somewhere.
So in a scenario like that, say, now this is brand new, 2021, we believe in the real estate industry that this is going to be a phenomenal year. 2020 was an amazing year in real estate. 2021 is supposed to be even better, y'all. So if you're creating wealth, if you're building wealth and you're wanting to get into house flipping or long-term rentals or whatever, Rob's going to be your guy to talk to. So in that scenario, Rob, would you recommend they check with you first before they ever even go find a property, or how does that work? What's best practice?
Well, it's typically what we want to do is that, yes, they can check with me. We'll get them a pre-approval so that they are empowered to go buy properties.
Okay.
The way we do that is it's very simple. On a buy, fix, and sell, I don't care what your credit score is. I could care less what I could care less what your credit score is on a buy, fix, and sell. You could have a 400, 450 credit score. Come to me. I'll get you approved. Okay. What I do care about is, yes, 450 credit score, but how much cash do you have in the bank? Meaning, do you have 6 months of interest payments in reserves to make payments on this property? Do you have at least 1/3 of the repair cost? If that's a yes on any property, then I'll approve you and get the loan closed. Now, I'm going to underwrite it to protect jet lending because of your credit history.
Sure.
But I could still do the loan and make it make sense for both of us.
So in a scenario like today's interest rate, say it's just 3% today, what kind of interest? I know you can't give exact interest rates because everybody's different, but a ballpark, what could somebody be looking at?
So private money is a lot different than conventional financing. Okay. We have to go to bank lines and capital partners to get our money. That way we can keep 60 million on the street every month. It's not like a conventional financing where they take it, package it up, sell it to Wall Street. And, they've got the big banks that are holding those notes, Bank of America, blah, blah, blah. Your big banks that are servicing those loans and keeping them on their books.
Yeah.
Our money is typically more expensive. So we're at 11 to 12% for our short-term money. Remember, it's 6 months, not long-term. Our long-term stuff, being that it's non-QM and they're going off of, strictly the income of the property, you're somewhere mid-6s to 7s for your long-term 30. Now, people still say, man, that's expensive for 30 years. But Freddie and Fannie is going to cap you out to where you can only have up to 10 investment properties. Everybody wants more.
Yeah. 20,
30, 40 investment properties. When you get to that 10 cap with Freddie and Fannie Mae, you cannot buy any more. And depending on how much income you have or how much liquid reserves you have, they may cap you off at 5 or 6.
Sure.
Then say, no more. We're not going to let you buy anymore. That's when you come to me and say, hey, look, I can't buy any more, investment rentals. Can you help me out? And we will be more than happy to get those deals done for you. Now you're going to pay a little bit higher interest because the underwriting procedures are different. So it's higher risk. So yes, the interest rates are a little bit higher.
So in a scenario like that, is it also you don't care about credit score? What's your guidelines?
No. Only for flips do I not care about credit score. Buy, fix, and sell. Buy, fix, and hold, standard credit score across the board, 680, middle score or higher.
Okay.
Middle score. Your middle score has to be 680 or higher.
And on those, what about a down payment? What are we looking at there?
Now, those typically, if you're outright purchasing it, it's a loan to cost scenario, usually about 75% loan to cost.
Okay.
Meaning whatever your purchase price is, they'll loan 75% of that.
Okay.
Now, if it's a refinance, they'll do 75% of the as is value.
Okay.
And that's very important to remember on these properties that when you're either buying them or refinancing. That's why a lot of my investors will close with hard money first. Yes, it's 2 closings. They'll do that equity increase, keep it for 6 months, and do the rehab, get it up to higher value, and then refinance and do a cash out to where they can get some of their money back out of the property.
You know, some of the economists are projecting this year will be the year of foreclosures, the resurgence of foreclosures. I believe that's crap. I don't see that at all happening. But there probably are people out there that are, want to be investors. And so they're going to be probably talking to you, I'm sure.
Yes.
To try to get in hopes that is happening.
I have heard so many different people talk on this. I would have felt that it has already started happening, the foreclosures, and it hasn't. Now I could be wrong. It's probably may hit first quarter really hard. I think more people are. I honestly don't know, and I feel that there are going to be some foreclosures in 2021. Do I feel it's going to be as massive as they say? No, I think people are getting back to work. I think people are it all depends on what happens first quarter. Are we going to be put on another lockdown? Are people going to be out of work? I think with 2020, what people have realized is that they can do their jobs in a different capacity. And they're starting to find out that they can hire people to do different things from home, and it's created a different job market, I think, out there for a lot of people.
Here's a scenario I'll run by you that I can see, and if anyone's watching and they never thought about this, I hope you guys will share it. So when this COVID thing first came about, and then furloughs were being issued, a lot of furloughs were being issued by these big companies, the mindset was that this COVID thing's going to only last a few months, and then people are going to go back to work and la, la, la. And that didn't happen. And it still keeps lingering on. And so a lot of people, instead of a furlough, it turned into, I don't have a job at all, actually. I'm now looking for a job. And so the mindset when that first began was, in the national average, statistics show that over 50% of homeowners have almost 50% equity in their house. So when you think about that, the mindset why there was going to be no foreclosures is because these homeowners would be able to pull cash out and live and survive off their cash during this hard time. However, no one really thought of, well, what if the furlough turns into, I don't have a job, because you can't get a cash out refi if you don't have a job. Yeah. So what has ended up happening, and several of my clients have done it, and I see many still doing it, is that they aren't able to get their cash out, but they need their cash because now they're getting into a situation. So rather than getting behind on their payment, rather than giving their house away to some investor, they're putting it on the market right now because the market's hot as crap and we can sell it for top dollar, and they're turning into renters, or they're going into a hard money loan because they've got cash. They've got cash. You don't care, per se about their credit score if it's an investment property, yes. but there's a scenario for everyone. And so rather than turning into a renter, perhaps they could turn into an investor. And there's a lot of different ways to spin that. And I think it would be a great opportunity for you, and for people who are looking at an investment. Instead of looking at, crap, I can't go buy a house right now. Well, maybe you can. There's always a solution. There's always a way. Maybe you can't go the conventional way, but maybe you need to talk to Rob, and you've probably got a crap ton of cash that you just got out of your house. And before you go signing a lease agreement, have a conversation with Rob, and let's see if we can get you back in a home.
Yes, that's absolutely true. As long as it's an investment property and and that's the strategy. It cannot be owner occupied. It has to be, renter investment, and putting your money to work for you long term.
Absolutely. And because of that same scenario, the rental market is on fire, because homes that were sitting for so long now are being taken up by people that once were homeowners. Now they've become renters, short term, maybe a year or two, while they get their jobs back and they get their credit score back and all that. But it's just a different world that we're living in. It's not black and white. It's not simple. It's just complex. But if you have an open mind and you know the right people and you're aligned with the right people that can guide you and help you, there's always a better way. And I believe 2020 is going to make us all look at that better way. How can we be smarter with our money and protect our investments better? And I think you offer such a great opportunity for so many people.
We love to call it creative financing.
Yep.
Creative financing. How can you make something happen when Freddie and Fannie have shut you down? Again, I have to reemphasize this, because a lot of realtors do watch your program. Hard money lenders cannot lend on owner occupied properties.
Yep.
I get at least 3 to 5 phone calls a day, and I'm not kidding. Hey, I've got a guy that busted out at the closing table. Can you help him out? My first question is, are they going to live in the property? And if the answer is yes, it's an automatic hard no for us. It's a hard no. It has to be an investment property. A, you're going to run your business out of it. B, you're going to use it as a vacation rental. 3, you're going to use it as a rental property, or you're going to buy it, fix it and sell it.
Yep.
Those are the 3 scenarios I can work with. The other one, if you plan on moving into this property at any time, we cannot do that loan. The reason why is because it's a mortgage, and we're not allowed to do mortgages.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's only investment lending.
And again, though, when you've got people with cash, like Grant Cardone, I follow Grant Cardone. He believes you should never own your primary residence, So
he does. He says that, and that's odd to me, because I'm just like, but he's telling the truth. But I'm on the flip side of that. Why do I want to pay somebody else's equity down? Like, I know.
I'm on the flip side of that too, because it's just crazy.
Yeah, it's like, but he makes a lot more money than I do, but he's never paying it. But he has a lot of rentals, but he's never paying his own equity down. And I'm like, that just makes no sense. Now, he may be living in one of his LLC's rentals, which a lot of people don't think about that strategy as well. Like, his LLC owns it, and he pays his LLC the equity, which he may be just kind of using that as a play on words. Like, he'll buy it and put it under his LLC, and then pay the rent back to his LLC. That way it shows as a profit, which, hey, that's a way to keep your investments down, and you don't own any property.
Mm-hmm. But he also has this philosophy that the more doors you own, the more money you make. And so that tip goes right back into what you were just talking about, where you get capped with these conventional, investor loans at 10 properties, and you're like, bring it on. We'll go.
Bring it on. Come on. And if you get denied, come on. If it's an investment property, come over here. And you're going to pay a little bit more in your interest rate, but I can get the deals done.
Hey, so can anyone come to you for multifamily? Can you do that?
Oh yeah. I do multifamily flips. I have a 30-year commercial long-term strategy. The biggest thing about that is rural areas. I cannot do any rural areas on
Okay.
multifamily, and I cannot do rural areas for my long-term investment strategy on rentals.
Okay.
It's gotta be in a well-populated area. Beaumont, I can do Houston area, Spring, Woodlands, Conroe, Galveston. Those are all good, but if it's in an area that's considered rural by standards, it's very tough to get that past the underwriters.
And what's turn times for closing with yours? Are they all pretty darn quick? Because I know when I was working with you, I was like, you were ready before I was. I'm like, hold on a second, I'm not ready yet.
So on those short term strategy, meaning a year or less. You only need the money for short term, like your investment. And you'll talk about it here in a minute. Hey, I just need the money until I get my long term strategies squared away. I could close in 7 to 10 business days. It's very quick, very to the point. Our underwriting is boom, boom, boom. We've got this down to a science. On the long term side, it takes anywhere from 30 to 45 days.
Okay, so the norm.
Anything over a year, I know I want a 30-year loan on this. It's the same as closing a conventional loan.
Okay.
First time.
Commercial the same?
Huh?
Commercial or multifamily the same?
Yeah, commercial. If it's a flip, it's still going to be 30 days. Saying you're going to buy a piece of commercial property, meaning 5 doors or more, and you're going to flip it, it's going to be 30 days or more. And not because I can't do it quicker. The appraisal is what takes so long.
Okay.
Appraisals for commercial property, and a lot of people don't know, they're $3,000 to $4,000 just for the appraisal.
Okay.
And it takes the appraiser 3 to 4 weeks, sometimes a little quicker, to get those done, because he's having to do so much investigating on the property. He's having to go and do an income approach. He's having to make sure that it's a solid investment and that it will cash flow for you.
Okay.
I mean, it's not just as simple as going and throwing some comps in there and saying, hey, there's a bunch of these. On commercial properties, he's got to go search for those comps because it's a little harder to find them.
So rumors go around, of course, about the commercial industry imploding and property values going into the toilet this year. What's your thoughts on the commercial market there here in Houston?
I'm going to tell you, I kind of agree. And I'll tell you why. 2020, as I said earlier, has kind of gotten people creative on how they can operate their business strategies. Yeah. They don't need those hard structures to do their business anymore. I think you're going to see a lot of people going mobile. It's already happened. Yeah. I'm not saying I know a company that has actually thought about it. And that's us. That we've thought about going completely mobile. Not saying we are, not saying we haven't, or we will, but we have thought about it. We've got some of our in-house people that are working mobile. Yep. Because it's just we've got the programs and everything in place to do it. I can close. I was at hunting with one of my owners, Eddie. He invites me every year. I love going over there to Mississippi. He's got beautiful land over there. Beautiful.
I bet. It's hilarious.
Oh, it's awesome. We go over there and we have so much fun. It's a stress release. It's pressure release. You just go over there, and Eddie's always a great guy to hang out with. If you've never had a beer with Eddie, you need to put that on your calendar. I'm telling you that right now.
Yes.
But just to have that opportunity, and we don't talk about work. We don't talk about anything. We talk about deer hunting and having a good time. Yep. And if I need him to look at a file, he will. But typically when he's over there, he's in hey, we're here to hunt. I closed 4 loans in a week being mobile. I didn't have to sit behind my desk, have my laptop. I put my notes in. We got final numbers and got everything prepped and ready to go and got those deals closed. And he was sitting right beside me at the dinner table while I was typing. He's like, "What you think about the loan?" And I let him look at it, and he's like, "Tell him EG approves." So, I mean, we're sitting there, having breakfast right there at the dinner table, and he looked at it, and I was typing. He looked at the pictures. He looked at the loan. He's like, "You just put in there, EG approves." So I did what he told me to, and we close loans like that. I mean, it's easier now. So I think back to your statement. I think a lot of commercial properties are going to be put for sale here really soon. I think it's already happening.
Yep. People that have some money maybe need to be smart about your purchase. Make sure you're not overpaying for something in a declining market. And then, of course, you need to talk to Rob if you need some financing. Hey, before I forget, though, too, was that a monthly thing that was at the investor meeting that we were going to? Because that
it was
came and knocked it all out. Tell everybody about that, please.
So we had a monthly meeting. We do it online right now because of the current pandemic with COVID, where it was out at the Republic Country Club out in Stafford. As soon as we closed up shop there and said this will be our last event for 2021, he actually put that on the market and closed it down.
Are you serious?
It's for sale. I think it's still for sale right now.
Wow.
I think he saw the writing on the wall far before anybody else did and said, you know what? I don't see this regaining what it was even after COVID happens. He's the guy that owns it. A lot of people either like him or don't like him. His name's Michael Berry. Very smart investor, very smart businessman. He's got some insight that some people do not agree with, but hey, it is what it is. You either love people or you don't. I will say this, that he saw the writing on the wall and put it out for sale, and I think he filed bankruptcy on it. I'm not 100% sure, so don't quote me on that.
No. But that was like such a cool event. I mean, y'all had grown it to like, wasn't it 900 people in attendance?
900 to 1,000 every month.
Yeah, y'all. It was like a bunch of investors, real estate people, lenders, jet lending. And there were so many people there teaching you. Somebody would get up and speak, teaching you about how to be smart with your money, how to invest, how to use IRAs for your money. So many different things you can do instead of just letting your money sit in the bank doing nothing, especially in times right now where there's people out there, you guys, making a lot of money. Well, let's put it to work. Learn how to use it. Learn how to protect yourself and your family and your future. And Rob, you gotta bring it into Rob to talk to him for sure. I'll give you what ended up happening in my life. I'm always looking for opportunities. I'm very open-minded, and I have the American Dream Show, and a lady had called me to list her property, and she started talking about her property, and it was about an hour and a half away, and I'm like, actually, I think I need to just come look at that property for myself because it sounds like a really good investment. She had bought it as an investment. She had fixed it up, and I saw a huge opportunity, not only to have a real estate office, but also as an Airbnb. So it opened up multiple doors, but it dropped in my lap. I was not prepared for it. I wasn't even seeking it. It was in my 5-year plan, but it wasn't like then. And so financially, I didn't have all my ducks in a row. And so I applied for conventional financing and got denied because I did not have things in a row. And so I sought help. Of course, I'm seeking, who am I going to go to? And Rob, he made my dream come true because I was so frustrated. I was like, how can I get denied? I'm like this perfect, I pay my bills on time. I got money. I'm like this perfect picture, but I'm self-employed. And it's a harder thing to swallow when you're self-employed. Banks don't like it. And man, I got on the phone with Rob. He was so fast. I can text him at 8 o'clock at night. Like, what happened? Where are we with this? And he's like, boom, right back at you. I mean, I'm not kidding, y'all. The appraisal was the only thing that took the longest, but it was literally done in just a couple of days. And he was like, where are we at? Let's get this thing done. Are you ready? And he made my dreams come true for sure.
Yeah. And that's what it's all about. It's all about making people's nest eggs, their retirement plans. Because people are literally getting into these properties as trying to build wealth, sustainable wealth for long term. That way that they can, when they're in their 50s and 60s, they can stop working so hard and get in early to where I call it mailbox money, or building their liquid up to a point that they can say, you know what, I'm gonna make my money make money for me. and invest it. You know, we have private people that give us, you know, their cash to make a return on it here at Jet Lending as well. So if you're watching and you've got a couple $100,000 you want to park and get a good return on, be more than happy to help you with that as well. We don't actively advertise that, but you know, we do give a nice return on that as well. It's all, but back to my statement, it's all about making somebody's dreams come true and making somebody's investment dreams come true. And that helps my heart, you know, go to bed and able to sleep better at night, you know, and know that eventually I'll be able to pass down some of my fortune to my kids and say, hey, you know, you're going to have a better life than I did because I took a risk and went to work for Jet Lending.
I love that. That is a great way to end this episode. That was perfect, Rob. Hey, tell everybody where they can find you to learn more about hard money loans or just have a conversation with you. How can they look you up?
You could call me on my cell phone at 903-806-4400. Again, that's 903-806-4400. Or you can email me at rob@jetlending.com.
And of course, he's on Facebook and he's on social everywhere. And I'll be sharing this all over the place. And if you can't find him, you come talk to me and I will hook you guys up for sure. Yeah. Rob's a great guy. He's always available. He returns phone calls. He usually answers the phone, and he's always just there to help you guys out and guide you. So super happy that you were here with me today, Rob.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I appreciate it.
Y'all. Remember that. Rob Trigg, Jet Lending.
Yes, ma'am. Hey, and I appreciate you letting me on your podcast, and it's an awesome experience. Thank you so much.
It's going to be a great year, Rob.
Yeah, let's have a great 2021.
Boom. Y'all have a great day.
All right, thank you so much. Bye.
You're welcome.